Hey YouTube family, Mr. Black Mama 305 with you again. Following the day that I've made my first 1,000 subscriber, I want to take a short time to go ahead and thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. If you're joining this channel right now, you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. If you want to get some wonderful content, educational, shooting videos, I'm working on everything, guys. Whatever you see on the channel right now is going to get better as the time goes by and as I learn how to do a lot more production, I guess, behind the scenes. Not really a lot of production going on, just me and my phone and a stand. That's my whole production crew right there, trying to keep everything transparent. But today, on a serious topic, what we want to talk about today is the Glock switch and the effect it's having on the gun community. And for me, this hits home because I love my gun rights, not for any crazy reason, but just because I love going to the range. I love the shooting sports. I love skeet shooting. I love hunting. I love camping. I love fowl hunting. Some of them of which I've never done, but would like to do in the future, and what would love to have the opportunity to do in the future. So what I've seen, something I've seen a couple months now that I've been looking at, and more, it's more prevalent. You're seeing a lot of YouTube shorts, a lot of videos of people, brandishing these, these Glock switch or these automatic weapons, you'd call them. And really reason why I call them automatic weapons is because that's exactly what they are. They are automatic weapon. When you take a firearm that only fire one round, it's called a semi-automatic, meaning that every pull of the trigger, here I have my Glock 19, and see that this Glock 19 is over a year, and it's been in a holster the whole time. It's been my carry pistol for over a year, and no only finish on the barrel. I've put about 600 rounds to this. The finish is still amazing. See that bird, APX? All right, I'm gonna stop with that one. But so what a semi-automatic pistol simply is one pull of the trigger, mean one cycle of the barrel and slide and the round going off. That makes it a semi. It means it's you pull the trigger one time, the round goes off. You pull the trigger another time, the round goes off. And nobody's Jerry Miculek, so nobody can pretty much shoot a semi-automatic pistol like it is automatic weapon. Anybody don't know who Jerry Miculek is? I'll go ahead and look him up. If not, I'll tell you guys who he is at the end of the video. But pretty much the prevalence of what we're seeing now is that, and it's a huge, it's a huge problem for the gun community and for what people who truly want to advance, the firearm industry really want to do. It's going to take us back years. And that's the reason why I'm making this video. Now, first of all, let's get a term out of the way for a lot of people who don't know. The ATF, meaning the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. That's what ATF stands for. I'm not trying to talk down to anybody. I know a lot of people that are watching the video don't know what ATF means. A lot of people seeing acronyms and you're like, what the hell does that mean? Like the other day, my girlfriend asked me what WROL mean. I had to tell her that, it's a term for when shit hit the fan pretty much. End of the world. So a lot of times people watch a lot of videos and they hear you throw around terms. They don't know what it means. So the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, they pretty much monitor a lot of stuff that we do in the gun community. A few years ago, I think we used to be able to buy the bump stock, and that was a lot of fun, And as with most of a lot of things, when those things come out, a majority of people in the gun community that actually use them, it's just for fun. It's just that you take out to your backyard in the safety of your own a property and your own space, and you use it just to have fun, shoot up cans, make videos, sit around a bonfire and laugh, and then some of the people who really don't care too much about the struggles that people in the gun community normally struggle with, to get a lot of stuff passed so we can have the freedom to use a stock, or have more than 10 rounds in our firearms, or use a bump stock just for fun, or use a pistol with a stock on it, and we're not using it for anything illegal or illicit. We go through all that stuff And then you have, and then the people who really don't care about the things we struggle with, they come in and use those same items, and they use them in a way that the ATF can now take and say, hey, listen, you see that's why we don't give them anything good, because we give them something good and they take it and turn it into something else. And that's what I see with this Glock stock. Something that's probably was made for people who actually can afford an automatic weapon, to go ahead and afford it. And for you to have an automatic weapon, you just don't go into like a store and buy, automatic, AR-15 or a pistol. You have to go through a lot of paperwork. Your name has to go through the system. It has to be approved by, the Justice Department, and say, okay, this person can have that. So when these Glock switches come on the market, and people start having them, it's illegal. It really is. Even for the people that buy them just to, take them out to their range in the middle of wherever they want to go, in the middle of nowhere, and they shoot these things. I mean, yes, they do it for fun, but in the same instance, if you don't have the paperwork, to have these kind of firearms, it is illegal, isn't it? Now if the ATF says, what, bump stocks are okay to have, or Glock switch are okay to have, you know what I mean, and then you have it and it's prevalent everywhere, then it's okay to have it. Now if they want to come and retract and say, hey, you know what, this is what's going on with the bump stock, people are taking it, out of context how we want them to use it, and they're using it to commit crimes that are super heinous. As before with that, excuse me, guys. As before with that, when you could just only fire 2 or 3 rounds with your finger, now you can, fire, 30 rounds in the time it takes you to fire 3 rounds, and not only that, you're not hitting anybody you're actually aiming at. You're actually hitting people that you're not aiming at, so pretty much the ATF, what they do is, they come and they monitor a lot of things in the gun community, what we can and cannot have, what's legal for us to own, and it gets down to very minute stuff. As with certain states like California, New York, you can't have more than 10 rounds in any firearms. In California, you can't have a grip on a rifle. You have to have some kind of doohickey that's a grip, but not really. So they come in and monitor stuff that they think might be detrimental to that state in their eyes. For us in the gun community, it's only as detrimental as the mentality of the person shooting it. And which we should have, I must admit, we should have more stringent way how we go about approving people to get concealed carry permits and to be allowed to purchase a firearm. But anyway, so pretty much the Glock switch, and the ATF, it's going to be a big problem for us in the gun community. And pretty much, if you guys don't know so I've explained to you the ATF and what the ATF pretty much does. They pretty much monitors it. They're like our, if you go to an English school and you're a classmate, we have prefects, and that those prefects, when the teacher is not there, which is the government, when they're not there, those pretty much those prefects come in and they take over. And they tell you this is the rules and this is the rules, So they're a subsidiary of the federal government, and they watch over you while the teacher's not there. So this is what the ATF does. Not that what they do is horrible, but some of the time they can go a little bit overboard with it. So the ATF, how it's going to affect these bump stock, I'm going to explain later after I sorry, not these bump stocks, these Glock switches. After I explain what a Glock switch is and what it does, then I'll explain to you how that coincide with how they react to those switches and how it affects us in the gun community negatively. And not only just us in the gun community, but people as a whole. Before I go on, guys, if you haven't subscribed, take the time out to hit that subscribe button, and and hit the like button, share the video, and I hope it goes viral and other people can learn a thing or two from this. So those the Glock switches now, what they do, they attach to the rear of the Glock, or some of them have some internal parts that are attached to the Glock, and what they do, they put pressure on the trigger, so when you press that firearm, it doesn't just fire one round, it fires multiple rounds. So one weapon that now you would consider a semi-automatic, meaning you one press of the trigger, mean one cycle of the firearm and one shot fired. Now that changes it from that configuration to a multiple round firing with the press of one trigger. And that therein lies the problem. Now, these Glock switches are fun, but they're deadly in the wrong hands. And in wrong hands, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, because this is where that epidemic is at, in gangs' hands. You know, so I know I'm gonna step on a lot of people's toes, and a lot of people are not gonna like what I'm saying. I really don't care. I'm just gonna go ahead and say what I have to say. Now, with that said, 1 second, guys. My dog is right next to me. So now that we established what the Glock switch is, now that Glock switch turns a pistol that is meant to be a semi-automatic pistol into an automatic pistol, okay? An automatic firearm, which is illegal unless you have that paperwork. Now you're taking what Glock intended to be a semi-automatic pistol, you're modifying it, and you're turning it into a firearm that's prohibited by law and governed by the ATF. The ATF are the watchdogs, and they're watching. This is the one thing I have to say about people that make videos on YouTube. And just in case you don't get it, they watch your channel, okay? All the channels out there, the Black Rambos, all the little, young guys that are coming up and doing all these shorts, and they're in their cars, and they have the 30 round magazines with the Glock switch in the back, and they're pointing it out the windows, and they're pointed in their cars, and they're taking it out at a gas station just to show it on YouTube and to get some likes. Guess what? The ATF is watching your videos, and they're writing down your names and your information. Do not be surprised if they show up at your door, and if you cannot explain how you got that firearm, or where's that firearm that you modified in your video, you might be serving prison time. And that is a fact, because they are cracking down on these Glock switches and what they can do. Now, the problem I have with those Glock switches is it's illegal, number one, and number two, it's in the hands of the wrong people. And when I mean wrong people, I mean all the people who don't do any paperwork to have these Glock switches, or the majority of the ones who do have them. And in those hands, the people that are trained to fire these firearms, these automatic firearms, they have years of training, or they're about to get the training to learn how to fire these. Watch this, guys. If you look up Glock switch, just humor me. Look up Glock switch. Pause this video. Go to your YouTube and look up Glock switch. And not only when you look up the Glock switch, look at the majority of people that own these Glock switch. Not only should you look it up and see who owns it, but look at what they're doing with those Glock switch. How unsafe. Let me say this. I've watched over a year or so, and I've been watching videos with this Glock switch. Never thought of wanting to have one. Yes, I'd love to have an automatic weapon, but I'm not gonna do it illegally, okay? Until I can afford $15,000 to buy an automatic gun, I'm not gonna go ahead and violate anything to do with the ATF and modify this gun and land myself in jail. I love my freedom way too much. Now, if you go on YouTube and you see majority's videos with that Glock switch, they're in, let me say this, and you're gonna see it. They're in part, they have a 30 round magazine, a 50 round drum, with the Glock switch, pointing at the guy who's actually doing the video, or pointing at their feet, or pointing it out the window, or in a gas station, showing it off, doing parodies of when the ops run upon you, what you gonna do. And those are the things that they're doing. The ATF is watching this, and they're saying, look what they're doing. This is why we can't have nice stuff. Look at what they're doing. So that's what I mean when I say there's people out there, the ones who don't care about the gun community. They only do it for the likes and the views and the swag and the show off. And what's funny is most of those channels are the channels you guys are subscribed to. Those are the channels that you guys watch and promote and elevate. A lot of those people that are breaking the law, not teaching the community anything, not showing us anything new. Back in the days when I used to have a YouTube channel with 32,000 subscribers. Yes, I did. I shut it down because I had to make a move, and it wasn't a good look to have a channel that, review guns. So I'm trying to build back up. And back in the days, I'm talking about maybe 7, 8 years ago, okay, when YouTube was at its height and the gun community was coming out and they were reviewing guns, people wanted to watch you review a gun because they wanted to come see that gun, what it looked like, what it did. So they're thinking about that purchase, but they want to see as much videos as possible before they made that purchase. That's what YouTube used to be. You know what I mean? Before the proliferation of shorts and there's that quick video and show me the action right away in 50 seconds or 1 minute, people used to actually come, sit down, have conversations about the gun community. They used to put effort into the craft of building their channel. They used to go out to the, people still do, but now it's just so much for show and swag and show off. And that same thing is gonna land a lot of these people in prison. And you guys who watch, you go and you subscribe to a lot of these channels who have no substance. All they do, they make little parodies in the house with a Glock, showing, swinging it around, finger on the trigger. If that thing goes off, and in that 1.5 second, it just keeps spraying, guess who gets shot? Not the ops. By the way, ops are if you're in a gang or in a crew, and there's another crew that's not down with you. Those are the ops. They're the opposition. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about the ops. Now, the reason why this has come so much on the ATF radar now is simply because in Chicago, there's been an influx of thousands of these Glock switch. And it is making policing Chicago and other areas that are affected by these Glock switches very hard. There's one story I read, and there was an ex-convict, there was an ex-convict who's been in and out of prison. And I guess he did some kind of crime. He's running away from the police officer. And he had a Glock with a Glock switch, fired back at the police officer, injuring him. There's other stories you can see on the YouTube or read in the news where the ops, the gangs and their ops are firing back at each other, not killing each other, but killing innocent bystanders. People who have nothing to do with whatever stupid little war that they're going on with, to any little turf beef that they have going on. And they're just gunning down innocent people, sitting in their cars, sitting in their living rooms. And a lot of people that are going to watch are going to say, yo, let them have their fun or such, until, you know what? That's what you're going to say. Until it happens to you. Until some happy-go-lucky who knows nothing about shooting and who just wants to get, some likes and some shares on Twitter, or Instagram, or YouTube, goes out there, accidentally keeps his finger on the trigger for too long, wearing one of those Glock switches, and shoots you in your head, reading your daughter a bedtime story. Worse than that, killing your daughter while you're reading her a bedtime story. It's not until some of these things hit home that we can really sympathize, or it hits close to home that we can really sympathize with what's going on. For me, I want to know that people are safe. I want to be able to still purchase a firearm and have fun with it in the way it was meant for us as civilians to do. Yes, it's a tool that we use to defend ourselves when that time comes, but within the capacity of the law. When the law says you need to have a gun that shoots one round with the press of one trigger, that's how I want to defend myself. Okay? If it says I can have a suppressor and it says I can have an automatic firearm, then that's how I want to defend myself. But until then, I won't be breaking any rules, and neither should anyone else, because them breaking the rules make it harder for us in the gun community. And what I mean by that is, it means all the gains and strides that we've made to push forward, to get, to still own our guns, to still, to get, the brace on pistols, to get a bump stock out, to have magazines that have more than 10 rounds, and to even be able to shoot in some states, even to own a gun in some states. Like, there's sacrifices that were made. People who burnt the oil, at the candle at both ends, and who put their time in petitioning and writing to their states, their state government, petitioning Congress, their senators, and putting in time, money, thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars. People that are invested in the gun community with jobs, making whatever it is that they make to supply, the accessories that we need. There's so many families that are dependent on the gun community for their sustainability. You know what I mean? And with these people that make these little, these Glock switches, they come in, they don't contribute anything positive to the community. All they do is, they want to make videos and shoot at the ops and pose and act, and they contribute nothing. Not to society, at least, and not to the gun community. And they come and they jump on the little bandwagon. YouTube, they have a gun. All of them have a channel now, and they're not doing anything specific to help. They're not sharing any laws that are being passed with the wider community, with you guys that are subscribed. They're not teaching, they're not showing you anything new about the gun that you've thought about buying for the past 2 months, but you don't want to, fire that shot on it. No pun intended. They don't add any value to our community. All they add is death and drama and negativity, the things that we're trying to avoid. And that's how they affect us in a negative way. This bump stock. I'm sorry, I keep saying bump stock. This Glock switch. It's illegal, period. And if you have a Glock switch, I suggest give it up, get rid of it. You know what I mean? Return it where you bought it. Say you want a refund. Call up the ATF and say, hey, listen, man, I didn't know this thing was illegal. I know now, I see what it is, and I want to return it. Even if you have it, go toss it in the lake. So if they do search your house, you're not in possession of it. Yeah, I bought it. It was illegal, but honestly, I threw it away. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you guys to break the law, but get rid of it. And listen, I don't want to be insensitive. In places like Chicago and other places that are war-torn in terms of gang violence, I do understand that these people need the guns to protect themselves. Not everybody in these communities are criminals. I know a lot of them want to get out of it. A lot of them don't know how to get out of those communities. That's all they know. It's not just like a lot of people would say, hey, all they can do is leave. How are they going to leave? Some of them have their families there. They're in fear for their families, but they can't leave. Where are they going to leave and go? They have no money. You know what I mean? So I watched an interview that I don't remember if it was a CNN reporter. She was talking to some gang members from Chicago. And the guys were saying, listen, man, we would love to put down the guns and get out of here, but we can't, because there's long-standing beefs that's been going on for years that the ops see you, they're going to kill you on sight. He was saying that, do you know how it feels to know that if you walk 2 blocks from your house, the possibility of you getting shot is like 90%. You understand? And the ops are carrying these Glock switches. So they're saying, listen, if they're upgrading to the Glock switches, we got to upgrade to the Glock switches too. But at the same time, this has to end. It has to end because it's affecting people negatively. And I'm not talking to ops. If you want to go at each other and kill each other, have at it. I wouldn't really want to see it because it's just so horrible for the black community and for any community, period. But at the same time, it has to stop one way or another. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I honestly really don't have a solution beside the fact that I can say stop buying it, because you just put yourself in a position where you're going to serve time. And now the ATF are seeing all these crimes that are committed. They're committed against law enforcement. They're committed against innocent bystanders. And regardless if they're ops or not, they're still human beings. So they're being committed against another human being. And especially when you're using something that's illegal, that can fire 30 rounds in less than 1.8 seconds. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be honest with you. I can be dead honest with you. A lot of these ops on both sides have no pistol training. They couldn't hit the broadside of a barn at 5 yards. Facts. These are all facts. I'm not asking this. Half these people can't shoot. You know, it just looks good in your best jeans and Air Force Ones and Glock switch and drum magazine. For what? What for yes, I know it's life and death in some places, but I'm talking when it comes to the YouTube and the internet and TikTok and Twitch and all these other places that they share this information. You know what I mean? It's a show, you know, and it's doing a detriment to the gun community. It's not helping us in any way, shape, or form. And I know it's very difficult for us to monitor how these things are coming in. If you know of somewhere that's selling these, report them. Dead serious. You know why? It affects me. It affects me being able to go out and enjoy my guns. Because the ATF now, they win the battle on bump stocks. Now we took it. It was supposed to be fun. They took it, turned it, not the ATF, but other people took it, and they turned it into something violent. Now you can shoot the whole 30 rounds now in 3 seconds. And now you're killing a lot of people. Now the ATF turned their eyes on every one of us. Now it's that group. Even though the majority of us who really care about our gun rights, we ain't doing none of that. You know, we're following the rules. We're paying our taxes. We're doing everything right. We're buying our guns through whatever website, whatever dealer, and it's going through the ATF or the Justice Department. We're getting checked, and our firearms are coming to us, and we're not purchasing anything under the table. We're not going to gun shows and buying any under table type of stuff. We're doing everything legitimate. I'm talking about the people that are taking those guns that the rights that we fight for so hard. They're taking those accessories, using them in a negative way, and then giving all of us a bad name. I don't use a Glock switch. I don't use a bump stock to commit a crime or do anything illegal. Why should I have to lose my right to have a bump stock when it was made legal? Now it's illegal. Now I can't enjoy a bump stock. Now I'm probably never going to shoot an automatic weapon. You know, because I'm not in the military where I can shoot that. I'd love to shoot it, unless I go someplace where they're just like, you know, just letting you shoot that kind of stuff. I'd love to go on my farm somewhere and just bump stock up and Glock switch up everything and have fun. Because that's what I really want to do it for, is to have fun. Right? But those people come into the community, they want to get the likes. And these guys, listen, these guys on these channels, they're making money. Okay? They have thousands of subscribers. Thousands. People like me, and you know, I mean, there's bigger channels out there that's been putting in time, like Iraqi Veteran 888, Mac from Military Arms Channel, Hickok 45, 22 Planksters. All those guys are already set. Those guys are doing videos. They're showing videos. They're showing off their guns of, you know, why would you buy a 22? Why would you buy this gun? Because there's people, law-abiding citizens that are out there want to buy these guns to either protect themselves, to go to the range and have fun, and they're doing it the right way. But you see an influx of these YouTubers who come on YouTube, you know what I mean? These are the ops. They have their little channel, me and my Glocky, and they're swinging that gun. I seen one video while the guy was driving, he was using the bump stock through the window, shooting into the side of the forest. I watched that in the daytime. I swear to God, I didn't make that up. Google it. Google something like, YouTube something like guy shooting a Glock out the window or something like that. You know what I mean? That is what they're doing. And you don't know who's walking through that forest. You don't know which father and his son is going hunting over there, wild boar legally, and you just fire 30 rounds through the window. I seen another video, the guy's doing a parody of what if the ops run upon you. He has the Glock switch, 30 round mag at the gas station pumping gas. Oh, then they get up like, oh, where's the ops at? Just to make a video, to get likes. Now you just broke a bunch of laws. Number one, you're brandishing. Number two, you have a Glock switch that you can't afford an automatic fire weapon, so you're in violation of ATF like a gazillion times. You know what I mean? Not only that, you're doing it at a gas station where not only the multiplier factor there is exponential. You shoot a round off, it sparks something at a gas station, what happens? Hundreds of people can lose their lives and their jobs. You know what I mean? So these are the effect that this Glock switch is having on the gun community. And what are we doing? You know, the people that are, and listen, if the bad guys want to, and these are becoming so prevalent, they can buy one, go online, get the specs, put it in a 3D printer, and make one. It is that simple. It is that simple. And I know it's almost impossible to get all those bump stock, all those Glock switches out of the hands of the bad guys or the people that are illegally doing these things. You know what I mean? What can we do? Personally, stop buying them. You know what I mean? Whoever's importing them, stop importing them. They were saying that the influx of them were coming from, I think, China, and they were coming into Chicago, and I think another state. They're coming to another state, from China to another state, and then into Chicago, and then they've slowly found themselves all over the place. Now everybody has a stupid, Glock switch. Everybody's showing all the videos. If I, on my little tiny little channel where I have 1,000, I love you guys, my subscribers. I have a tiny little, a tiny little YouTube channel where I have 1,000 subscribers, which I love you guys. You know what I mean? I'm here and I'm working hard and I'm putting out good content. I'm doing reviews. I barely get 1,000 views on any reviews I do. But let me look like I'm from the hood. Let me put a bump stock on this thing and point it out the window while I'm driving and say something like, watch me and my bump stock shooting through the window. I got 4 million views in less than 2 hours. I don't understand society and what we do, and these people come into our community. Not that it's our community as a whole and we can't have anybody in it, but if you're gonna come into the community and show off your guns, as in terms of entertaining and educating, because that's what we do as YouTubers in the gun channels. We entertain and we educate. You know what I mean? That's what we do. We educate you on something that we have that you would like to purchase one day. We go to the range, we shoot up pumpkins, we shoot in the safety of where we're supposed to do it for your entertainment. So you can be entertained. It's called YouTube television. It's a vlog where you vlog and entertain people, educate them. What education are some of these channels giving to us? They're educating the ATF about the crap that's going on in our community, and not by the law-abiding citizens that really care about it. The people who come in who don't give one rat's ass. I know I'm going to get a lot of slack. I promise you I will. I know. And this is kind of one of those things that I kind of agree with the ATF on. They should clamp down on it. Get rid of it. This is one of the things I'm with them 10,000%. Get them clock switches out. Because in the hands of people who have no experience shooting, they have no training shooting, it's a detriment to us all. It's horrible. And I know right now I'm getting a little worked up because it is hard to watch. When you see, a police officer chasing a convicted felon who's not even supposed to have a gun, and that man lost his life chasing, some dude, who's not even supposed to be out. Ops going back and forth at each other, shooting at each other for God he knows what. For turf that the government owns. Whatever turf you guys fight for, you don't own it. Uncle Sam does. Any corner that you can go work on, you don't own it. Because if the government came and they monitored that corner, you ain't making no money off that corner. If they put police officers there, on every corner in your neighborhood, you ain't making a dime off of it. So why are you killing and shooting people over those corners? And then you involve the law-abiding gun citizens, into that beef. You take what we are fighting so hard to keep, involve it in that foolishness, and now you're putting our rights at risk. I say, kudos to the ATF, man. Go after all these guys. You know what I mean? Let them shut down their channel. Get them off YouTube. With these bum stocks. I'm down. I'm 100% down, and you should be down too. You can be in your house with your beautiful kids, your wonderful wife, your family. You go to the bathroom, you come back, God forbid, somebody has a bullet in their head. Why? Oh, The ops were back and forth outside. They had a bump stock. Not only are they firing 2 shots, they're firing 30 rounds in the time it takes to shoot two shots. Somebody in your house is dead. It's not until it's at your doorstep that you kind of understand these things. And I just don't understand human nature. How these are the kind of, yes, stuff is entertaining to watch, but don't enable them. You know, when you see stuff, call them out. Them bum stocks, say, hey, yo, you got paperwork for that bum stock? Because guess what? I'll send ATF at your house. Because I don't want to lose my right as a gun owner. I've invested thousands of dollars in guns and ammo and shooting gear and shooting accessories. And there are people who, you know, who their livelihood is linked to this, that are following the law, that it's legal. If the ATF come and they say, hey, listen, man, this thing is no longer legal, guess what? I won't be shooting that thing anymore. It's just what it is. I don't want nobody to lose their job. So I'm going to follow the rules. It is what it is, you know. So this one, you know, I'm going to give kudos to the ATF for doing this, you know, because, you know, I just hope that they go after the right people. And, you know, and because of this, they're not making any laws that affect the gun community in a negative way, you know. So, you know, I want to say, if you guys are out there and you guys are using these bump stocks, you know, I'm not down for anybody serving any time unnecessarily, but, you know, cease and desist, man. Get rid of those things. And the bigger channel, use your platform. Speak up about these things. When you see these channels, jump in and say, yo, you know, do you have do you have paperwork for that automatic weapon you have? Because I know you ain't got none. First of all, you know, some of these little channels, come on, man. You got $20,000 to buy a Glock that can shoot, you know, 30 rounds in 2 seconds? Legally? No, you don't. You know what I mean? And again, I want to say I do understand that this is the way of life for a lot of people that live in Chicago, and they go through this. If the Hops have it, they have to have it too. I get that. You know, don't think that, you know, just because other people live in parts of the world and they don't understand your struggle. I'm from Jamaica. All right? I grew up in the grind. You know what I mean? And I had the option of going one direction or going another. And I chose to go in another. You know what I mean? A lot of guys I do understand don't have that option, you know, and it's just a way of life for them, you know. But, you know, we gotta, you know, we gotta do something. We gotta either stop the foolishness. We have to, you know, we have to get all of these bum stocks off the road. If you know a friend that has one, on both sides of the ops, you know what I mean? Because you can serve time for a murder, but you serve time for killing somebody like a daughter in a house that has nothing to do with your beef. That's the electric chair. You know what I mean? That's the difference between 5 years, 10 years, and a lifetime. Think about it. Get rid of those Glock switches, man. If it's not legal, don't own it. Let it be. You know, you're helping yourself and you're helping us as a community. You know, if you want to go at the ops, go at them however you want to go at them, or don't go at them at all. But don't endanger innocent people's lives and break the law and make it worse for, you know, us in the gun community, people who have jobs that are dependent, you know, on the gun community, making firearms, making accessories, you know, legally, you know. So guys, that's pretty much my video on the Glock switch and the ATF and how that affects us as a community, and as you know, as a community as a whole, not just the gun community, but just the wider community in general. You know, if there's something you guys want to ask me, go ahead, hit up my description, hit up my the comments. You know, this is not meant to go at anyone specifically. It's meant to go at a certain system that doesn't coincide with the law, that affects the people that do follow the law. You know what I mean? And this could go for anything else, but in this situation, it's going for the Glock switches. You know, get rid of those things, man. You know, somehow find a way to, you know, settle your differences in another way. You know, and I know some of you guys, you know, that are using these, you know, in a gang fashion. I know it's just how it is, and I do understand that. You know, But you know, we got to find a way to, and a solution now we can resolve our differences without resorting to devices like these, destructive devices like these. And that's what they're considered. It's a really destructive device, you know. And this video is not meant to disrespect anybody in any way, shape, or form, but it's meant to educate and enlighten. And I hope I did so today. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so. Let's hit up the subscribe button, blow it up. Let's hit the like button, put me in the algorithm, and get my channel up and running. Guys, Mr. Black Mamba 305 is signed out. Thank you again for giving me 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching the channel. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you watch it through to the end and getting some knowledge. And, look out for my next video. That one's going to be a little bit lighthearted. That one's going to be about the channel and pretty much my my videoing equipment. That's going to be a funny one. You're going to like that one. Mr. Black Mamba 305 signing out. Thank you.